and I now give the floor back to the delegation of Cambodia to address observations and comments that have been raised so far. So you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Vice President, and allow me to thank all the members of the United Nations for your recommendations and comments. I, and with my delegation, His Excellency Bang Rasi, Vice Chair of the Council of Jurists of the Ministry of Interior, will address the topic on the freedom of the press, freedom of expression, and civic space in general. The right to information is guaranteed and protected in Cambodia through international and domestic legal frameworks. It is enshrined in Article 19 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, as well as Article 19 of the ICCPR. Our Constitution also enshrines this right under the Article 41, guaranteeing the right to freedom of expression. We received a recommendation with regard to law on access to information. This draft law is soon to be finalized. It has been submitted to the Council of Jurists of the Office of the Council of Ministers after receiving revisions from the Ministry of Justice and inputs from UN agencies and civil society organizations. More than 2,000 media outlets and 10,000 journalists, including those critical of the royal government, have been operating freely in analog and digital forms without prior censorship. In 2023, Cambodia has a total of more than 11 million registered accounts of social media users, equating to 65% of the total population, allowing them to access a diverse range of information as well as voice their public opinions freely without limitation. With this progress, the royal government reiterates its stance that while the government supports free and independent press, it must also combat the bombardment of disinformation with malicious intent, politically incentivized to misinform and incite hatred and violence, disrupting social stability while undermining the principles of human rights and fundamental freedoms. Such actions must be viewed as a violation of law. Accountability and responsibility must go hand in hand with the exercise of rights. On the topic of the law on associations and non-governmental organizations, Cambodia recognizes the instrumental roles they play in the advancement of social accountability, good governance, protection and promotion of human rights, as well as sustainable development. Cambodia provides a vibrant space for CSOs. Over 6,000 national and international NGOs are currently registered in Cambodia. Cambodia is strongly committed to promote genuine partnership with CSOs in all aspects of social development. A working group has been established under the leadership of the Ministry of Interior to consult regularly with hundreds of CSOs in addressing challenges and fostering effective government CSO partnership, as well as to amend the law on association and NGOs at the CSO's request. The working group has conducted the second phase of consultation with CSOs on this amendment on the law on association and NGOs. And as mentioned, Cambodia respects and supports the activities of social activists, trade unionists, and human rights defenders. Just like CSOs, they play a role in the advancement of social accountability, good governance, protection and promotion of human rights, and sustainable development. Every person is entitled to these rights and freedoms, but it also comes with responsibilities to perform roles, duties, and obligations in accordance with the law. And when activities become criminal and threaten social order and impede public interests, perpetrators must be held accountable. Cambodia firmly believes in a liberal multi-party democracy system enshrined in our constitution. This is reflected in the election of the 7th legislature of the National Assembly last year, which was conducted in a free, fair, peaceful, and transparent manner, with a high voter turnout of 84.5%, surpassing the previous 4 national polls since 2003, from more than 8.2 million voters casting their ballots to choose among the 18 contending political parties. There were thousands of observers, including 422 foreign observers representing 65 countries, international organizations, foreign governments, diplomatic circles, and Cambodia diaspora communities. It was also monitored by nearly 60,000 political parties agents and 90,000 independent national observers who attest to the transparency process. I now would like to give the floor to Excellency Nyat Sakarin, Secretary of State from the Ministry of Justice.
I would like to thank you, Mr. Chair, for giving me the floor. I would like to iterate and update the following point. Before the achievement full pace national unity, territorial integrity through the win-win policy of Samdech Akam Hassan Abedi Johnson, Cambodia used to be a war-torn, economically sanctioned and isolated country, known as a killing field. Commendable success of the subsequent implementation of triangular strategy, the four-phase rectangular strategy are the result of the regional government absolute effort to put national and public interests above all else and to implement regular reforms with the support from development partner and stakeholder as well as active participation of the people from all walks of life. This effort and participation have also laid a solid foundation for Cambodia to firmly maintain peace, political stability, strengthen its ownership over the nation destiny, and promote the prosperity of people to this day. Cambodian firmly safeguarded sovereignty, social order, securities, social safety, and political stability by firming adherence to principle of rule of law and multi-party democracy, strengthen internal unity, successful throwing various plot of overthrown the legitimate government, safeguarding the nation from descending into chaos, responding to external crisis as well as global pandemic, COVID-19, and maintaining the macroeconomic stability. Madam Vice President, Monsieur Hazelin Delegate, Chief of Delegate, Excellency Lady and Gentlemen, we do always accept all constructive and collaborative criticism, recommendation for making our country better and improve in all aspects, particularly for promoting and protecting human rights and human dignity for our beloved people. However, we could not accept any comment that is misleading, political based, and grounded, and do not reflect the reality on the ground. To respond to advanced questions made by Belgium, Germany, UK, and comments provided by certain countries such as Luxembourg, Italy, Ireland, Norway, Japan, Malta, New Zealand, and Poland, and also as well as United States of America regarding impartiality and independence of magistracy, I would like to make the following comment. For guaranteeing and strengthening the judiciary and independence of the court and uphold the respect of the rule of law for all, Cambodian put into implementation of a comprehensive framework for enacting the three key laws: law on organization and functioning of the judiciary, the law on status of judge and prosecutor, and the law on the organization and functioning of the Supreme Council of Magistracy, aiming to strengthening the discipline and ethic and professionalism of judge and prosecutor. Judicial power is an independent and no organ of the legislative power or executive power could interfere with the work of the judiciary power, as enshrined in our constitution. All investigation of any type of crimes, criminal offences, from drugs crime, human trafficking, exploitation offense, sexual abuse, etc., have been seriously and rigorously investigated based on the evidence and in compliance with the criminal procedure code and law enforcement. Like with other country and legal system in the world prescribe, the freedom of expression is limited to the respect of the rights of others. The exercise of democratic rights and freedom could not be at the expense of the rule of law. And I would like to iterate that this principle must be equal applied to everyone, regardless of their background and walk of life. The social affiliation or status as a political or ideological or partisan activist or units could not be served or claim for the privilege and immunity or impunity for his or her commitment of any criminal offences or misdemeanor prescribed by the law. Legal actions against any political party or individual that committed a criminal offence, such as treason and conspiracy or broke the law, was the normal process in any democratic state. Adhering to the principle of the rule of law and aiming to strengthen the process of democracy and safeguard peace and stability, which were the basic for our long-term and sustainable socio-economic development. Acts of treason, espionage, and conspiracy with foreign power that advocated the overthrow of a legitimate government were subject to severe punishment under the law of all countries, and Cambodian was not exception. Honorable Madam Vice President, Monsieur His Excellency Head of Delegate, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, with successful achievement as provided in the national report. And by opening remark and intervention by our colleagues and commented by the most esteemed members in this morning, we do not stop here. We have to overcome new challenge in challenge of modus operandi of the crime commission by extreme group and of transnational crime due to development of technology. To aim making Cambodia a civilized country by realizing the Cambodian Vision 2050 to commitment among others such as liberal society, sustainable everlasting peace, political stability, strong public order across respect of the rule of law. The Royal Government continue to focus on prioritize among others enhancing and strengthening the effectiveness of law and justice system. In this respect, further to our national report submit to the Human Rights Councils. I would like to highlight a bit on some important further progress of legal and judicial reform, particularly in the new mandate of the government in four main area. Development alternative dispute resolution. We have a new body in competent existing deputy resolution mechanism in the country, aiming to promote the quality, effectiveness, and sweetness of dispute resolution throughout of court mediation for the purpose of reducing backlog of the case in the court, drawing dispute resolution service closer to the people and local level, and ensuring harmonization and justice in history. The nationality has been begun to accept and address the complaint from May 1 to 2024. Second, improvement court system. The Ministry have been launched two important campaigns simultaneously. The first campaign is for the promotion and expedition of the dispute resolution court, and the second one is a campaign for the investigation and resolution of irregularity in the court. The investigation and resolution of irregularity in court, which aim to finding justice for the people, and as well as promoting transparency, integrity, and fairness in enforcement of law and execution court of proceeding and decision. The third, legal and judicial reform. A new steering committee for judicial reform has been restructured in order to serve as a mechanism to guide, to mediate and promote the implementation of justice system. Reform touches us in according for the Royal Government political program. In addition to the strategy plan, for 10 years, we aim draft 5 strategic objective, promoting the quality, effectiveness of law and justice, promoting the quality of effectiveness of judicial system, promoting the effectiveness of alternative resolution mechanism, promoting the legal aid and legal services, and promote the capacity human capital development in justice sector. The fourth, improving legal framework pertaining to justice sector. There are several laws in finalizing. These include the law on the No3, draft law on belief, draft law on the court clerk, draft law on commercial court, draft law on labor court, and so on. The working group for studying and reviewing the four-man law for justice sector was established to improve effectiveness and the quality of the law to ensure the consistency, legal harmonization, development of the digitalization, and new development of the society. The four-man law are criminal code, criminal procedure code, civil code, and civil procedure. To conclude, I would like to thank and wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Excellency. I'd like to give the floor now back to Madam Vice President.
Thank you, Excellency, and the